Hey guys, welcome back to World of Warships. Today we're taking a look at the Alaska B. We're still going through some of these Black Friday ships, just trying to give you guys a little updated look at some of these ships you might be interested in. Alaska B probably being one of those that you're interested in if you're looking at some of these Tier 9 premiums in the Black Friday sale. I'm not sure if this is going to be available or not. I should have said that in some of these other videos, but I don't actually know what's going to be in the Black Friday sale. I'm just kind of going over some of the Black Friday ships in these videos. And Alaska, I think, is going to be a pretty popular one for a lot of people. This is a very strong Battlecruiser at Tier 9 on the American side of things. You got improved pen angles on your armor piercing, which is 305mm guns here, so a very powerful ship that should be very, very good in anyone's hands, really, since this ship doesn't get punished too hard when it's broadside, doesn't have a very big citadel. It also has a radar, a hydro, it's got healing. Its armor is reasonably good. It's not like Petro levels or anything like that. You can still take a lot of HE damage and get overmatched, but you're still a very tanky cruiser. And then with these main guns and decent concealment and the radar utility, it's an overall very strong platform. I, however, find it frustrating to play a lot of the time, and I'm sure you guys know that if you've been here for a while, but I find a lot of these battlecruisers just to combine the worst elements of battleships and cruisers. I can't quite play as aggressive as I can in a battleship because the armor's not there, and I still have the bad battleship dispersion. Yes, it worked out there. I have no idea how, but yeah, that dispersion dev-struck that man, or pretty much did. That's crazy to me. We're going to see that as we go on. The dispersion is very hit or miss. Sometimes it feels like you just get cruiser accuracy on such massive guns that the ship has to be very good. And then you catch a broadside, and then it doesn't do the damage you'd hoped it would do. So that's where I find this just a little more frustrating to play than some of the other cruisers that might bring the same utility of a radar, but then bring more DPM and consistency. And for me, that's why I don't play the Alaska all that much. If I'm going to be playing a ship that doesn't have the consistency of a cruiser, I'm probably going to be playing a battleship, something that has a little more armor to brawl with, and something that potentially is able to get a few more dev strikes. Goliath here, engine knocked out somehow, and hoping to get some citadels there. Again, improved pen angles, and we don't quite get it, unfortunately for us, and we do have the submarine on us as well. Fortunately, though, I think the Shima just takes him out there, and we do manage to dodge those torpedoes just fine. So not too bad a start, I gotta say. Decent damage, but the Alaska here really isn't one that's going to carry games into super ships tier, right? Notice there is a Satsuma here. It's not the most amount of super ships, but even though it's a very, very strong tier 9 ship, super ships are very, very difficult to deal with. They just have so much more damage output at such a longer range than the Alaska that it can be a little tricky. Broadside Goliath here, or broadside enough that the improved pen angle should do some good work. And maybe I'm just leading this poorly or aiming poorly over this island, but yeah, we didn't get any citadels on that guy. A little disappointing there, but that's okay. Still doing reasonably well. Notice our team is taking over the C cap, and the enemy team is going to be pushing towards A. So we got some decisions to make here. Do we want to kite back towards our teammates, or do we play solo on the A flank here? And I've decided here to turn and try and play towards the A flank as much as I can. I'm going to try to make use of some of the captain skills here. We'll go over that in a little bit, but the Outnumbered perk, as you can see, we do have that activated. It's going to give us a speed boost to our ship as well as better dispersion. Something that the Alaska, in my opinion, would benefit from, especially that dispersion. I really do want to see better salvos out of this thing. So trying to make that work here. Maybe not the best play to play a little bit towards the flank here. And I say solo because I think our Brisbane's about to get dev struck, if I'm remembering this game correctly. But Schlieffen here, turning to be broadside enough that our AP should be useful. And now we get to see what this Outnumbered dispersion buff can potentially do here. The rear turret, I don't think looks all that amazing, but I think these front two turrets are going to be a very nice demonstration of why this is a decent perk to take. Not always, but decent. Look at that dispersion, right? That's what we want to see. Preferably into a broadside cruiser where we're going to get citadels, but still. Very good damage into the Schlieffen's upper belt and superstructure there. And one of the reasons that I think I slept on this skill just a little too much earlier on. It's been in the game for quite some time, and I just never took it. I just kind of wrote it off and ignored it. But I have been playing around with it more recently, especially on some of these higher caliber cruisers that do struggle with dispersion every once in a while. And it's been a nice skill to have. It's difficult to activate, though, certainly. It takes you almost being out of position to get any benefit of it. It's what it feels like. We're fortunate here where the enemy team decided to turn and focus towards B and focus on the bulk of my teammates here, where they didn't decide to just go hunt me down to the corner of the map. And we probably would have died very quickly to that. Certainly a Satsuma and Schlieffen secondaries running us down would have been pretty difficult to deal with. But here we do manage to activate it and maybe get some back capping done here. The game, of course, is still very close, so any cap control we do have can extend a point lead and hopefully help us win the game, although our teammates do a pretty good job of cleaning up the enemies in the middle of the map here, so those two battleships do end up going down, and that should help us secure a win. But enemy destroyer alone, right? We don't have any DDs left. That can be a pretty strong carrying force for the enemy team. And a Marseille that's going to go broadside to us. And something you'll have to learn with the Alaska is to lead more than you think. Marseille is just very quick, but given that I haven't played the Alaska very much recently, yeah, I just straight up did not lead this guy properly, even though he gave me such a juicy broadside, right? You gotta lead a lot, because that's a bit of a downside of the Alaska as well. Not only is it a little bit wonky on the dispersion, yeah, your shell velocity is pretty bad. So you're not getting that rail guns like Battlecruiser experience you'd get on like a Stalingrad or something like that. You gotta lead a lot. So at closer ranges, you're still going to have to lead quite a bit and get 0 damage on a broadside Marseille that walked broadside twice to you. Don't think that one was misled, but hey, it's Alaska, guys. Notice we did not have the Outnumbered perk activated there, so we didn't get any benefit from that dispersion. That's just normal Alaska dispersion for you. And then he like 8Ks our superstructure. Yeah, it comes and it goes, I guess. We're still doing well this game. It's still a very good game, of course, but those individual salvos sometimes can be rather frustrating. And keep in mind, 2 of the citadels that we did get out of the 3 here were from a very fortunate roll of the dice on that initial cruiser, since the dispersion was just atrocious there. So, again, not sure how I got citadels out of that one, but it's okay. It's just okay. This game is, of course, coming to an end. Don't worry, we will play another one. I think I will jump into the Alaska and play a live one for you guys. Kind of talk about the thought process on positioning in Alaska. We do, of course, want to be getting broadsides and flanking, but also with the radar, just being a tankier radar, having some cap control presence like that can be very, very good. And you can't just play on islands like we managed to do in this game, especially when there's a carrier, right? We can't play islands like we would here. It's a very strong playstyle, but the carrier does mean we can't do that if we get into a carrier game. Gearing here just at the end, and decent dispersion. Getting 2 hits there with the HE, does some decent damage, and then managing to miss. But hey, Devastation cleans it up for us, no problem. And then just a Hindenburg left, so 171k into a double up tier. Barely double up tier, of course, only 1 super ship on the enemy team, but still. Double up tier, and Alaska still managed to carry its own weight. So it's still a good ship, don't you worry, but not always going to be my favorite pick, and that's why you don't see me play it all that often. As for the build here on the Alaska, it's pretty basic, although that Outnumbered perk is going to be potentially limiting you on some other skills you can take with the 21-point commander here. So Outnumbered giving us that 10% better dispersion seemed to do okay when we can activate it, but notice we don't get to take survivability expert, so lacking some HP here. We're also lacking heavy AP shells, so some damage output in that regard. So it might be worth it to go for one of those two if you're wanting a little more survivability, or you're wanting some heavy AP shells for more damage instead of Outnumbered, since it is difficult to make use of it. I'm still wanting to try this thing out though, see if I can get some value out of it here and there. Starting to see why it's a decent pickup, but it's expensive, 4 points. Priority target, just to give us some knowledge of how many people are aiming at us, and then gun feeder, because we want to be using both of these ammo types. The HE is decent, and of course the AP is very, very good. Equipment-wise, we are using reload mod, of course. The range here is okay. 19 kilometers is pretty decent. More than you'd even get in Puerto Rico, by the way. Amusingly enough. But yeah, we don't necessarily need range mod. It can help, but the reload is just so much better to take since 20-second reload, I think, base. It's a little bit long. Aiming systems mod, of course. I'm taking propulsion mod over even damage control system mod just to get a little more maneuverability, especially around some of those islands. But considering we don't have a fire prevention, that kind of thing, maybe it is a good idea to tank a little bit more. I don't know. These battle cruisers can eat just a ton of fire damage. But that's the build. Let's jump into a live game and see how I can do. So we do get very fortunate on our matchmaker here. We are definitely top tier. And the enemy team looks to be all coming our way, so we'll have to be a little bit cautious about that. However, that could mean we get a very, very good game here. Ooh, lost a DD already, though. Not great. And, yeah, decent damage out of the HE. Could swap over to armor piercing here, though. And I think we will, just to get some good damage in the Nebraska here. Yeah, they're all gonna be coming here, so there's only a few of us. Oh, there we go. Double fire. Oh, the rep. That's fine. He's got HE. And does he turn out? Ah, he does. Okay, so that AP is gonna drop short.
The ship is on fire.
A little fire. That's not good for us. Yeah, that dropped short. That's okay. So what we're gonna need to do is hopefully relight this guy. And then maybe look to the north, I think. So start moving to the north. Might be a good idea here. Just to get a bit of a flank going. Nice. Got the fire. It's a perma. It's the rear fire, so if we can get the bow ones, that would be pretty good. Although I don't know if we have the range right now. Well, that's okay. Decent start. Pressuring their battleship. And yeah, if our bombard sits here, then I definitely want to go a little further north. This Fiji's looking juicy. Make sure we lead enough, of course. Looks like he's going slow. Maybe he isn't. We'll just do the full lead right now. Oh, our DD8 to Torp. That's unfortunate. He did slow down. No. Ah, that's too bad. That lead time, right? Oh, smoking. About there. Take a blind shot. May as well. We will have to be a little careful about how aggressive we play up here. Hey, the blind citadels. Let's go. So we won't have a very easy escape route. I'm gonna hydro just to make sure we don't need a bunch of torpedoes coming out of here. Nice. Duke of York. Outnumbered. It's activated, guys. Let's see if it's worth it. Now we're going to just barely slow down and turn out to see if the Nebraska shoots at us here. No, he's in his planes. All right. That's fine. Ooh, Kagero Torps. I like it. Our AA should be pretty good, but it isn't, just because this game doesn't like AA, or giving us decent AA, unfortunately. Hey, he missed. That's very good for us. Oh, he's got the AP. We're a little too broadside, but like I said, the Alaska doesn't actually have a very easy to hit citadel, so that's okay. Just angle a little bit more. Our turret angles backwards aren't amazing. They're okay. 4K there, huh? That's not great. Definitely gonna need some fires on this guy. Yep, taking some hits. It's not too bad though. A lot of it's just gonna be overpens. Okay, we get the fire. He instantly damage controls it. Wow. And we've got Outnumbered activated now. think his immunity was still up. Fortunate. Our John Bart's still very healthy. That's great. Okay, that's bigger hits. Alright. Permafires, please. He damage controlled a single fire. Game. Game, please! Come on, video game. You don't gotta be that mean. How do you let him get away with that? Ooh, that's some nasty dispersion he got there, too. How is he getting away with it? How do you get away with that, man? That's insane. Oh, you hate to see it. You hate to see it. Okay, he's in his planes now. Wow. Wow. Okay, 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 okay. Just not our day, I guess. Alaska. You could be such a good ship. You could be so good. On paper, you're such a good ship. And then we get the fire, and his damage control's up again, right?
Enemy team has taken the lead.
Yeah, we'll have to deal with that Soyuz soon. See, if I had gotten permafires, this guy would have been dead already. He would have been so dead already, and I could have easily had this Soyuz broadside already. Feels bad. It's okay. Our John Bart's still reasonably healthy. 8 hits there. It's okay. Yeah, there's damage control. He used it on a fire that's about to expire, guys. Kinda wild. Soyuz could be looking at us here soon. In fact, he probably is, since there's 2 on us. But we're broadside, and therefore we won't take damage, right? I think Soyuz already shot, right? So, do we kill him? We do, finally. I'll just Hydro just to make sure. Aim for his bow. We know we can hit that reasonably well. At 4K, it's decent. We'll take some hits here from Overmatch, probably. Oh, not too bad. And he's done. Okay, 111. Like, the damage is good, okay? But it's still disappointing, yeah? Longer range shots can be a little more difficult, but let's still try. Into this Yumahari here. A lot of cruisers left, so there's potential this game yet. It goes a little low. Good dispersion there, though. That's unlocked, guys. That's unlocked dispersion right there. I don't understand the aiming system. How is that looking so good? I mean, we missed because it's, you know, not led properly. It's hard to lead when targets aren't spotted. But, wait, what is this? Is that in radar range? Not paying attention to my map. It actually could be. Let me try. Yes, nice. And go forward. We have outnumbered. Got a fire right away. That's rude. Come on, Alaska. Please.
Torpedoes to port.
I missed everything.
Torpedoes to port.
But do we dodge the torps? I think we do. Somehow.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Fortunate. Yikes. Team kind of just fell apart here. I'm really sad we didn't get any more hits on that guy. Quite disappointing. Okay, Battleship here. We'll look at this Chikalev in a second, I think. Decent. Gonna angle into that.
The ship is on fire.
And we turn away. Good. Slow down, turn out. Should make those go low. I hope. Didn't kill him. I need to kill the Chkalov though right now. It's priority. Because he kills me so quick.
The enemy is about
40. Nice.
The ship is on fire.
Come on. Good. Please. No! Oh, I hate carriers, man. Unlucky. Oh well. 216. It's decent damage. Unfortunately, the game itself is just a little frustrating at times, but hey. 8 Citadels feels pretty decent. Bit of a rough one. Alaska can be a decent ship. It can be, but yeah, I guess the main issues I have with it are, as we saw at the end of the game, not tanky enough to actually push in and make plays, and not consistent enough to just be the cruiser experience. So it's this weird middle ground that a lot of these battle cruisers have. For me personally, like, keep in mind that, guys, this is my opinion on it. All right, you can like these ships, and that's great. You should get it then if you really enjoy this thing, because it'll be a decent option at the Black Friday sale if it's available. Not sure if it is, but for me personally, that's why I don't like these battle cruisers. I just find them to be too squishy to push in and make plays, and not consistent enough to make plays on a cruiser perspective. So that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.